It's time for Let's Get Real with your host from Bob Richards and Associates, Bob Richards.
Mr. Bob.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Good afternoon, Bob. How are you doing today?
Doing very well. Beautiful day in southern Utah, as always.
It is a beautiful day, and I think that's probably why you wore that beautiful hat to go with this beautiful
All
day.
right. Okay. Thank you.
And judging by the quality of our shirts, it looks
Yes.
like our wives called each other
I
and
think
said
so.
they both need to wear cool shirts
That's
today.
right. And we did.
And we did.
We actually listened.
We always do what we're told.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that right? No. Hey, we got a lot of stuff going on this week, don't we?
We do.
I understand there's this little event that a couple of people know about in St. George. It's called the, don't help me, I'll get here, the Parade of Homes.
Yes, sir.
Wow. When does that start?
So this year, it begins on February the 14th, Valentine's Day, and goes through February the 23rd. So about a week and a half, basically, is what you'd have to go out and see the parade. 31 homes this year, Michael.
Oh, my.
When they first started back in the early to mid-90s of this, there was much smaller builders that were showing their wares and offering their homes. It was very interesting where S&S Homes and Entz Homes would have a subdivision in which they were having their parade of home at, but the goal was to sell homes for them to build in that subdivision.
Oh.
Total difference from today, where it's just custom all over the place. And so literally in all of Washington County, there are homes pretty much everywhere for people to be able to see as many as they want to, up to the 31.
Wow. That's really incredible.
Yeah.
So when did this start again? The Parade of Homes in the 90s?
It did, yes. That was when it originally got going, and just has grown and blossomed from there.
Now, I understand people come from like all over the country, if not all over the world, to come and look at the homes here in St. George.
Yeah, all over the world, actually, yes. It's a global event now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, St. George is really becoming kind of a global hotspot, isn't it? With all these buildings and development things we got going on. We've got amusement parks and water slide parks and all kinds of stuff going on. And I can see why they'd have a parade of beautiful homes here. I've been a couple of times, and thanks to you, and we really enjoyed it. But if I may, extol a word of caution to people who go. Because I think I told you, 1 year my wife got thrown out of a house.
Right.
Because she did not have shoes on. So she wore shoes with no socks.
Yeah.
And so she took off her shoes, and they wouldn't let her in. And she said, I'll just put on the little blue booties.
Yeah.
They go, oh, no. It's got you have to have
Really?
socks on. So when you go to the Parade of Homes, guys, make sure that you wear shoes and socks. So you can...
Oh, Michael.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. They
That
let me in.
is.
I wasn't even wearing pants, but I had shoes on. And they said, that's okay.
That's all right. Come on in, Michael.
Come on, it's all right. But no, it's a great
that's
event.
great.
31 homes. Oh, my gosh. Why don't you explain to some of the folks who might be new to the area exactly what this Parade of Homes is?
Yeah, so with the 31 homes that they have here, this is a showcase of a number of builders that are part of the Home Builders Association here in southern Utah. They earn points and credits for things that they do within the Home Builders Association that allow them to be part of the, basically a lot of, meaning that they're taking out a drawing to see if they have the opportunity to put a home in the Parade of Homes. That starts a year in advance practically. So here in the next little while, they're actually going to be pulling names for the 2026 Parade of Homes, so these builders can have the home ready within a year's time. Oh. And some of these are so big that they'll need the full year in which to have the home built. So it's not something that you can put up in 100 days and say, okay, this is good enough for people to come through and see.
Yeah.
So this, again, other Parade of Homes areas, it's all in one area. So there's maybe a street or a street in a cul-de-sac, and you're just going from house to house to house to house to house, next door, and that's it. And then you're done. Whereas here, we're branching out to other communities, other areas for people to see other parts of southern Utah rather than just a subdivision in a particular location of southern Utah, St. George area.
Yeah, I remember a couple times when I went, there was homes out in Ivins, and then there's some in Washington and some in St. George, and there's a couple in some areas. It's like I told my wife, I didn't even know this was an area.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, there's homes out here.
Dameron Valley, Springdale out by Zion.
Yeah.
Really, really quite a wide array.
I can see why it's on for a week and a half. It would literally take that long to see all 31
Seriously.
homes. That's pretty
And
amazing.
with this comes into the 14th, Michael, that's President's Day weekend. So when you think of the tens of thousands of people that come, most of them through the President's Day weekend, then you have soccer tournaments, you have baseball tournaments.
Wow.
Also going on during that time. It'll be hard pressed for anybody to get a hotel room during this next upcoming weekend or a vacation rental. We're booked. So the traffic's going to be heavy. And that's one thing for people to understand is that you got to be patient when you're out going to see these houses.
Yeah.
Because there's kids going across the street in front of you, and you're maybe a little impatient, or maybe you need a little bit of a lunch because you're just on edge.
Yeah.
So just be patient with people around you and allow them to enjoy the experience as well as you being able to enjoy that same experience.
Yeah, and if I may also proffer some words of wisdom learned by experience, primarily to the ladies who like to wear high heels and fashionable shoes, I'd recommend you just wear easy walking shoes, because some of these, there are so many people trying to get in. We had to walk like 2 or 3 blocks to get to the house and then stand around so we could take our shoes off, of course, and then put in a little
exactly.
booty, then walk all the way back. So make sure that you dress appropriately and comfortably. Make sure you wear good walking shoes in case you got to walk a little bit of a distance here.
The people aren't judging you. You're there to judge the homes or to give your input, but don't feel like that you're going to get an award for something that you've worn. Especially if it's with Kanye West, but that's beside the point. And so make sure that you are comfortable. Yeah, that's something that would be ideal. Take a little bit of sugar, something with you in case you need a little bit of a boost, to make sure you're hydrated as well. Every year, we're not sure if we're going to have a lot of rain or a lot of sun, but February is always a 50-50 month. And so we'll see what happens this year. I hope it's rain, because we are desperate for water down here.
We are a little bit. Fortunately, I brought my water bottle, and that'll have to make me that'll have to do. So I've had some friends ask me, so Michael, why should I go to that Parade of Homes thing? Some of these things are like $10 million. I can't afford to buy a $10 million house. Why do I want to spend my time doing that? So why should somebody go to there?
Michael, that's a fair question. And your friend, as well as many others, ask the same thing. What's the use? I can't afford the house. Why even go see it? Well, here's maybe a positive to this. In each of the homes, there's plumbers, there's electricians, drywallers, painters, tile people, appliance people, glass people. So they're showing off their wares that they have done in contributing to the building of the house. So if you're doing maybe some sort of a project or considering doing some sort of a project at your home, maybe you pick up a business card or two from some of the people that you see, like, oh, I like his work, or I like how that looked, or wow, that was a great idea. And maybe have a chance to visit with them, because most of them are in the house by what they've done. And so you can ask them and say, hey, tell me a little bit more about your design here, and what's your availability over the next whatever time, and can you come over and give me an estimate? So I think that's actually a very favorable thing, because it allows those subcontractors to be able to start their business well in 2025 and just get a greater exposure, because so much of the time these builders are providing them business, but they're not really known to the public.
Right.
You don't find them necessarily ongoing like you would a general business, like you would with a general contractor. So I like that idea. I think that's a very good idea.
I think that's a good idea too. I like it because, well, my lovely wife, she loves to go to these things, because even though we can't afford the $10 million home, I mean, the $8 million one stretched us too far. You could barely pay for the yacht after we got that. No, but she looks for decorating ideas and colors. She goes, oh, I never thought of this. This is great. What an excellent use of space. And I love the way they did that. So I've seen her Like she'll take a little notepad and she'll take notes and take photos. Oh, this is pretty. So I think there's lots of good reasons
Another great
to
idea.
go.
Yeah, another very good idea.
I can't think of any reasons not to see the homes except for one. You guys need to be warned. So what I found is that when you go to see the homes, the vendors and stuff that are in the garages showing their wares, they generally all have like candy and donuts and sandwiches.
That's right.
So if you're on a diet, you probably should not go.
Right.
Or just if you got strong willpower to make it through there and not eat all the candy, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
But I can't think of any of the reasons not to go.
If you're diabetic, just keep on walking out that garage door.
Yeah, keep on
Do
walking.
not stop. Do not get $200. You just need to keep walking out that door. Yeah, and there are some people that just can't handle the crowds, and it's too many people, and they feel like they're a herd of cattle going through. Hearing somebody to tell them, "Here's the kitchen. Hi, welcome. Here's the kitchen." And
Well, that's
you can
what
only say that
realtors
many
do.
times. Yeah, exactly right. So I think for most part, people have a good experience with it. But for those that are saying, you know what, it's too much fantasy land. Yeah, it is kind of these days. It's such a way off market that just the practicality for most of us, it's just not there. You kind of ooh and ah, and wow, that's really cool, but I can't live there, and this really isn't practical to what I would want to do. Wouldn't want a shower in the middle of the great room, or something like that.
Yeah.
There's some odd things that happen.
There were. I like it personally because to me it's like a 3D vision board.
Yeah.
It's like goal setting. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I could really see myself here. So now I have to figure out a way to make it happen.
Make it happen.
So are you guys that are goal oriented? I would definitely check out the Parade of Homes and find something that strikes your fancy and
Great idea.
work hard and go buy it.
Great idea. That could be very inspirational.
Yeah, I found it very inspirational.
No, that's awesome.
It was really great.
I'm going to mention one thing to people on hours. So starting on the 14th, 10 o'clock is when the first home, when it starts, I should say, all the homes will be open beginning at 10 a.m. on the 14th. They go until 7 p.m. every night, except for the last day on the 23rd, and they close up shop at 5 o'clock. So Sunday the 23rd, 5 o'clock is when it ends, but all the other days prior to that, 10 to 7. So it should give people enough time to be able to get to majority of the homes, unless they're just wanting to stay locally, or maybe they want to see the outstretched homes and look out in the rural areas more so than the ones in town of Washington Fields, Little Valley, St. George, Ivan, Santa Clara, etc. But I like the variety. You don't have the cookie cutters that you're just like, well, I just saw that one before.
Yeah.
There's a nice variety of variety of homes for people to see.
So how do I get tickets and how much are they?
Okay, here's my soapbox today, folks. They're $25 each. Now, they used to be about like $8, maybe even $6, and $25 is a lot of money to pay for a Parade of Homes ticket. So as a couple, obviously, that's $50. You can get your tickets at Lynn's grocery stores or at the center courtyard of the Red Cliffs Mall. Shouldn't say Red Cliffs Mall anymore. The Red Cliffs, okay? So you get your program. Those will be available on Thursday. You'll get a lanyard. Those will be available on Thursday. You can buy your tickets really on Wednesday, but you'll still need to go back and get your program and lanyard on the following day. But so that's how much it costs, and I wish it was lower. It needs to be lower. There's no need to charge that much money. It can be very discouraging for people to say, I'm not going this year. And then the home builder's revenue actually goes down rather than thinking they're going to go up because they've raised the prices on tickets. So I think it's a negative.
Are there any, is any one day best to go? Like Disneyland has good days and bad days. What are the best days to go?
Fantastic question, Michael. So with the Parade of Homes coming up on the 14th and starting on that day, Valentine's Day, and then you've got President's Day that ends on Monday, those 4 days are going to be packed, absolutely packed. The following weekend, Friday, Saturday, will also be very busy, and the Sunday until 5. So I highly recommend for people to go through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the following week, not the first week of the parade, but the following week, those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday days. It's more locals, a lot more accessibility to the homes. You're not walking, like you say, 2 blocks to get to it. You're in and out faster. You're not feeling congested or anxiety. It's a much nicer, calmer feel to feel like that you're not being pushed and pushed and pushed, or people pushing you physically.
I think the only downside to that would be the people who went the week before ate all the good candy.
Yeah, maybe so. No more chocolate chip cookies.
Now, Bob, I understand that this year we've got some $10 million homes sitting up there.
We do.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's. I remember the $119,000 new home SNS in Red Cliffs area behind the Red Cliffs Mall, Cotton Acres, Foster. That's what they were going for back in the 90s.
Wow.
And so when you go and jack it up to 8, 10 or so million, and having so many of them in the $1 million area, it's just, again, it's fantasy where people would actually have to come in from out of the area for the most part and say, you know what, I'll buy that one, and I know how to buy it, and I've got enough millions to be able to do that. And you and I are looking like, man, what line did we forget to get in?
Yeah. So, Bob, before we show these cool photos of this home that you've got, are there any other final words of wisdom or takeaways that folks should know about the Parade of Homes?
Enjoy yourself. Don't rush. Don't feel like that you need to see all 31. You miss the experience. Just let it come to you. Soak it all in. Say hi. Be nice. Smile. There just seems to be a lot more consumer confidence out in the world right now. There's just a level of ease and a little bit more happiness. And let's just enjoy the experience and allow people to do the same. Don't get in their way. Don't photobomb them. Just allow them the opportunity to enjoy the parade.
Sounds good. So tell us about this home that is for sale, Mr. Bob.
Yeah, thank you. So this particular home that I have for sale just was listed a couple of weeks ago. This is in a townhome subdivision called West Springs. Now, townhomes in southern Utah are very different than what you'd find in northern Utah. Townhome in northern Utah is typically side by side units that are attached. And this one and what townhomes are in St. George typically, and more often than not, detached units. There's no common walls. They're all freestanding.
I like
now,
that.
in this community, they're 55 and older as residents. So one person needs to be at least 55 years of age. Would not apply for you and me. And this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath that is actually being sold fully furnished. So you bring your toothbrush, your clothes, and your golf clubs. And that's really all you have to bring. It's
gorgeous.
Very
Look
well
at that.
decorated. It has a lot of nice amenities to it. The kitchen's been all redone. Granite countertops, travertine tile. It really is turnkey. There's nothing that you would want to do to that home. Well, maybe some Fruity Pebbles in the pantry or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Gallon of milk. But really, it's a great place. $335,000
Oh,
all in. I mean, that's just, you get the whole kit and caboodle with that.
It's beautiful. Did that now? The kitchen I saw.
Yeah.
Did that include the pineapple that was in
You know
the
what?
window of the kitchen?
There wasn't that. I actually ate that at the open house the other day. Not really, folks. Not really. No, it's a great area. You've got amenities with a clubhouse, an indoor pool, pickleball courts. There's on-site RV parking. There's just yard care. So if you're from other areas outside of St. George, your yard always looks great, no matter what time of year it is.
Sounds great.
So you never have to worry about, is my lawn looking good? Is there weeds? Is there blah, 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 blah. It's all taken care of with your HOA fees.
Sounds good. So, Mr. Bob, if somebody has a question, they'd like to see that listing, how do they get a hold of you?
Easy peasy, Michael. It's 435-703-UTAH. That's 435-703-8824 is my cell phone number. BuyUtah.com is my website, and my email address is bob@buyutah.com. Now, on my cell phone number, you can certainly text me. You can call me, obviously. Whatever I can do to be of accommodation for your schedule and abilities to see this and other listings that I have, I would be delighted to work with you.
Cool. Well, Bob, thank you very much. We'll see you guys again next time with another exciting edition of Let's Get Real.
This has been Let's Get Real with Bob Richards from Bob Richards & Associates. For more information, buyutah.com. We invite you to return again for another edition of Let's Get Real with Bob Richards from Bob Richards & Associates.